Good evening, everyone. Welcome to the latest episode. It's episode 9.
Yes, episode 9.
Episode 9 of Boys from the Baltic Star. Thank you for joining us. If you don't already, please consider following us on Twitter at BoysBaltic. If you've not been here before and you want to catch up afterwards, if it's of interest to you, then we've got all our old videos on the stream. They're floating around somewhere. I'll turn them into highlights, or that on YouTube at Boys from the Baltic Star. I am Luke. I'm in the red. I'm little at the bottom. Hello. I'm a big fan of the Reds. I'm not. I hate the Reds, but I'm wearing red tonight. Across from me in the blue is Ewan. We're like the two sides of table football or something, which means the man in black, the referee in the middle, is Ben, who is also the referee. It's like you've come in fancy dress.
It's almost like we've planned it.
Exactly.
We didn't.
We did.
He's either the referee or he's dressed as Johnny Cash. I can't work out which one.
Yes.
So, we're at Earth Park, I believe. So, Ben, I
Yes.
pass over to your more capable hands than mine.
All right. So the story so far. Continuing their exploration of Earth Park on Giikur, the boys from the Baltic Star saw a wonderful beach, some magnificent giant beasts, and some predators. One predator in particular, Emma Corbett, a Black Sun operative, was skulking around. She claimed she was keeping an eye out for potential threats to a Black Sun commander called Falco, whom the travellers met on Osin, very briefly. She was easily turned away from her task as soon as she realised Seva wasn't with them. He seems to be the reason for the heightened security. She appears unaware that Seva is even on Giikur, but we know better. After seeing most of the carnivores living in the Carnivore Caves exhibit, the boys from the Baltic Star are just about to enter the very last enclosure on this peak, the direwolves. And that is where we resume the story. So, could I have all of the PCs roll a survival check for me, please?
This is what I like to hear.
Start off as we mean to go on.
As we mean to go on. Oh no!
Haven't even warmed them up yet.
I know.
That's survival plus intellect.
A natural
as well.
roll. Okay, let's do Stefan first. That's...
No, that's not good for one of them. No.
Oh,
Let's warm it up.
Stefan got a 5.
Oh, that's good at least. Sarai got a 6.
Okay.
But Kara got a 8 plus 2, 10.
A 10. Okay.
And Agnar got a 7.
A 7. Okay. All right. Thank you. So 10 was the best you got between you?
Yes, it was, yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
Thank you.
Fair enough. Right.
Start.
So, as with the others, this is the other enclosures. This is a walled pen coming down on a sort of ramp from the top plateau of the peak that you're on, and this rather triangular section. You're on one side of it, the sort of eastern side of it, and the arrangement is that there are 2 pens. One you've already been to, where the Smilodon was, and the other leads down into the sort of viewing enclosure for the direwolves. The viewing enclosure is essentially a multi-room space with a lobby area with places to view information about them, and inside a couple of small antechambers before you step through into one of 3 rooms that allow you to view onto the frontage. But by far the most impressive is the middle one, which is almost entirely glazed on its sides and its front, and looks out over the enclosure, where you can see a number of direwolves. Now, direwolves are considerably larger and more muscular than even the biggest wolves that we currently have living on Earth. And they look fairly impressive as predators. Interestingly, though they are pack animals, they are scattered quite widely across the enclosure, probably because they feel safe. They're not clustered together. They are meandering about their own business. So obviously, you can spend some time enjoying the look of the direwolves and glance around and see what else there is. But this enclosure is essentially, I'm afraid, direwolves and nothing but direwolves.
Are we the only people in the viewing chamber?
No, there are a couple of other people. What looks like a young couple, both male, and standing very close up to the glass right at the front.
Agnar will. Can he hand his our communication device over to Rick, and he'll say, "Oh, could you get a photo of me with the direwolves in the background?"
Oh, absolutely.
And he'll stand up against the glass and bare his fangs, do his best direwolf impression for the camera. Flex.
Very good
flex
idea.
A little bit.
That's not too bad. Yeah. Rick takes a pretty decent shot of you.
Yeah, wonderful.
Yeah.
Agnar,
He's very impressed
much.
with the animals. I mean, he's been impressed with everything he's seen in Earthpark, to be fair. But the direwolves are a treat.
Agnar will say thank you very much, and he'll make sure that he gets them logged on his augmented reality animal tracker.
Indeed. Yep. Got to check off that he's seen the direwolves.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. If you're done with the enclosure for the time being, because there's nothing really to do here apart from look at the animals, not that that isn't nice to do.
I enjoyed it thoroughly.
Yeah. Then you can wander back outside, and I'd like all of you to do another survival check for me, please.
Oh no.
Click on the survival save. Oh, that's a little bit better.
Is this intellect again? Survival.
Yes.
Intellect.
Yeah, intellect plus survival.
I'll start with Agnar this time. He at least doesn't have any minuses.
I'm okay on both of these. Soraya hit a 7 + 1, 8, and Kara hit an 8 + 2, 10. Again,
okay.
But a different 8 this time.
Agnar got a 6, and Stefan got a 3. He's clearly got something else on his mind.
Okay. It was Kara who got the 10, yes?
Yeah, Kara got the 10. She's very alert at the minute. I don't know why. She's obviously just...
Warm dice. That'll be what it is.
Dice,
It'll be the warm dice.
Yeah. Sweaty mitt, that's what we need.
Yeah. So, as Kara leaves, she spots a heavy-set man in sort of fairly customized combat armor, peering towards you, and then when he sees the group, he starts running towards the west.
Kara will turn around to see who was the most aware of Stefan's.
Agnar was more aware. Yeah.
Kara will say, "Agnar, follow me," and immediately turn to give chase to the guy.
Okay, all right. It is not a long distance before you get to the sort of western point of the plateau, and the chap charges down what appears to be a guarded staircase through a gate and down towards the water's edge. At that point, as you get down towards the edge of the plateau, you can see there's a cut angle cutting through the western side of the plateau, with a set of steps leading down to a small jetty for boats. And there are a handful of boats moored there. He's got a reasonable head start on you. So he gets to a boat and leaps onto it, throwing the painter off as he does, fires up the very quiet electric motor, but it doesn't seem to be lacking in power, and roars it away from the side of the dock just as you're arriving next to him.
Cool. Now I've got no idea how to drive anything, so either we have to wait for Soraya and lose him a little bit, unless Agnar can actually jump in.
I don't suppose there's any airships flying around. They're all boats, are they? There's no hovercraft.
I'm afraid these are boats. They are not. You're not going to require like high-end sailing skill to operate them. They do have fundamentally a steering wheel and and a throttle lever. You can operate them without specialist training, but it obviously will make it harder for you to get it underway, to work out where everything is.
Yes.
Should we?
Let's go.
Let's go. Oh, we're going. Here we go. We're going in. Agnar's keen. I like it.
Agnar's caught the scent. Being around all the less evolved direwolves is just caught up in the chase now.
Okay, as these are utility boats, and it's not exactly the strength of the person running away from you either. It's just not something he's particularly skilled at. I'm going to suggest that we do a check on dexterity as to how well you can balance the power of the boat and steer it, being unfamiliar with it altogether.
Good choice.
And make it a fair roll, because neither boat is commanded by somebody who actually knows how to work a boat, you understand.
What branch of the military was Agnar in?
He was in the army.
Yeah, fair
Not
enough.
the Marines.
Not Marines. Oh.
Might have had a slightly better although actually I suppose that means something completely different in
Yes,
in space.
Big space.
You'd have a better chance actually in the army than in the navy of having handled an actual boat.
There you go. Well, there you go.
On surface, on planets where there are bodies of water, I guess.
Then I'm expecting a lot out of
Makes sense. As he jumps in, can he shout over to Kara, can you got any weapons on you? Can you shoot out the engine?
Shoot out what? The bloke's engine?
Well, not as.
Got it, Paul.
Ideally.
Kara will, she's got her gauntlet laser with the back which she's been carrying around. So she'll openly, because we weren't supposed to be sneaky, were we? So she's made no secret of it. So she'll press the L button to flick it up out of the gauntlet and say, just get us close. I've got no range. Get us close and I'll do my best.
Okay.
Right. So can I have the dex rolls for the pair of you, please? Plus your dex modifier, sorry.
So that I don't fall down.
I'm resting on my lower, not on my die.
Oh, dear. Lucky I'm not steering.
Not bad, though.
Oh, good.
That's a 9 plus 2.
A 9 plus 2. Okay, that's not too bad at all.
And I'm bouncing along in the back with a 7.
Okay. Well, you both comfortably outperformed his roll, which was not all that good. Okay, you are in fact gaining on him. He's got a head start on you, and he's probably a quarter of the way across the lake at this point. But you are definitely gaining on him. Yes, can I have a survival check from each of you with intellect?
It's water direwolves they got out. They're trying to kick us off. Come on, one burst, don't let me down now. Oh god. The first one was a 1, I was worried for a minute.
7 plus nothing for Magna.
6
7?
plus 2 is an 8 for Kara.
A 7 and an 8. Okay. Right. Okay. As you're sort of getting exhilarated by the fact that your boat is slowly catching up with his, you notice there's a sort of a bit of a sudden movement in the water just alongside his boat, and you're sort of rapidly approaching that area. like a disturbance caused by a school of fish or something like that. Right. So so next section of the lake, effectively, he's heading basically due west towards the middle of the beach, but he's just starting to veer south. He's heading towards the sort of southwestern of the cable car terminals on the beach.
Yeah, the third one going clockwise.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. The one at the bottom of the triangle, if that makes sense.
Yeah,
that does make sense.
As we're doing this leg, can Agnar just message the rest of the team, I guess, or everyone, and just say we're in pursuit of somebody?
Did you say?
I have no idea why.
You said Agnar does that. Did you say? Is he? He's not driving and texting at the same time, is he?
Well, it's a boat, so I think it's less frowned upon when you're on water. It's the same as drinking. You can have a beer.
Why did you say so? I'll have a look in the call box in the back and see what's going on.
Shall I swing by the first little purple dot? We can pick up some cocktails. You got time for a bit stuff.
No, we're out here. We'll just spin around all day. I'm happy with that.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's bound to work.
So yeah, he'll just message everything he knows. You know, we're in pursuit of someone. We're heading to this general direction. And
that's good. While he's doing that, Cara wants to have a quick check on our boat where, you know, she's not the most mechanical, but I'm sure she can probably tell by looking at the boat kind of where the engine would be, ish. Right?
Yes, the engine, not surprisingly, is sort of in the middle of the hull, with a jet tube coming off the bottom of it, which is vectored underneath the water at the back. So when you steer, you're actually turning the nozzle for the hydrojet.
That makes us cool. Is it when Soraya gets the message, she'll turn to the others and say, should we try and cut him off? I don't know how fast these cable cars will go, but should we try and cut him off to the south? It might take forever, but...
I can tell you the cable cars are much slower.
Yeah.
I mean, you obviously can get on a cable car, but it would be a hell of a lot slower.
Is it worth getting on it anyway and meeting everyone down there?
Are there any other boats left?
Yes, there are.
Go then.
Okay.
So the rest of the crew are going to go for another boat then? That'll be the pleasure cruise.
Where do we send Rick and Rose and
on the cable car?
They're going to go on the cable car, or do they want to come on a boat with us?
Yeah, well, let's find out. Rick, we're about to jump on the lake. You coming, or do you want to look after Rose and bring her around on the cable car?
I think we'll go visit the reptiles, if that's okay.
Oh, you cowards. As she turns and her and Stefan drag each other off towards the first waiting boat. So.
Okay. All right. Yes, they also start the boat without any inherent difficulty. And, you know, it all seems pretty straightforward as well. However, as you know, we're going to need a dex check from whoever's driving.
Well, of course.
I think Soraya should.
Yeah, Soraya. Although if it's a dex check, her dex is very average. But naturally, Soraya would do it, wouldn't she? So let's go naturally. Yeah. Soraya would naturally do it. Yeah. Okay.
She is a woman of action, after all.
She's a woman of action. She is. She's like all the A-team rolled into one.
And more alert than Stefan.
So it appears.
Yeah, Stefan's sitting at the back going, "Oh, we're going boating."
Where are the life jackets?
Still looking at where's the nearest cocktail bar? 8, 6 and 2, flat 8, because she's got 0 dex.
Okay. Yep. All right. You are also immediately starting to catch, but you're significantly further away behind, of course.
Yeah.
Okay. So I now need to. Quick check something. Okay. Right. So the next round of boat driving begins, and the person in front has made Not a bad fist of it this time.
Oh.
He manages to seemingly get the balance of the boat right and the power engaged, and he's racing towards the beach.
Right, so we're rolling our decks, right?
Yep.
Oh, that's a good one. Oh, I've hit hot.
8 plus 2 for Agnar is 10.
Okay.
And sitting in the back, Kara's hit a 10
Ooh.
plus 2, 12 for Kara. She's so relaxed. She's sunbathing for a little bit, just catching
And
some rays
Soraya
before the
driving the
actual
second boat.
I forgot. Do we get? Is it a flat dex or do we get an intellect on that?
It's just dexterity. Yeah.
So Kara was 10, but that's still okay. Soraya hit a 7.
And that's a flat 7. Yeah.
Flat 7. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, despite his acceleration, the lead boat of the pair of yours, the one with Kara and Agnar, is still just gaining, but the trailing boat has fallen a little further behind, and at this point, you see a shape in the water alongside the boat in front. And initially, it just looks like the tiniest of white streaks on the surface, or could almost be mistaken for a wave. And then slowly, the top of a fin begins to emerge up out of the water. And it keeps coming and keeps coming and keeps coming. It's a dark grey colour, and it stands, by the time it's fully up, almost 3 meters tall.
This is playing to both my megalophobia and my fear of depths. Thanks, man.
Wait till the tentacles come in.
Oh no! for a full checkbox. Oh. No.
Just to clarify, when you say the boat in front, do you mean the boat we're pursuing?
The one that's running away from you.
Yes. Okay. Cool. Okay. Cool.
How close would you say we are to the boat?
You're going to be about 50, 60 meters, about 50 meters now.
Okay, that's cool.
You've been gaining a little bit.
Although Kara will be rather surprised by the fin, I'd imagine she'll still try and settle in on at the front of the boat, on the side. You know, the side that we're coming up slightly to the side, so that she's got a clear shot if we get close enough. She's prepping,
Okay.
I guess. So she'll go up next to wherever Agnar is on that side and sort of lean on, and start to reach her arm out, ready for action.
Lean in.
Lean in. Get the arm out, ready. You know,
lean into it.
Push it against the side of the boat. There you go. Bracing. Cool.
The fin, Ben. Scales, skin, metal.
As far as you can tell, it looks natural.
Okay. Cool.
It looks flat, dark grey. There is some movement to it, as if it is natural.
Cool. Okay. Perfect. We continue pursuit, I suppose. Unless Kara has any ideas.
No, I'm happy with that. I need to get within about 20 meters. We need to get pretty close for me to have a decent go. So I've got no idea.
Okay. Right. You're basically going to get, depending on how well he does, you're going to get potentially 2 more goes to catch him before, before he reaches the beach or near offer.
Yeah.
So, okay, he's done very well this time, actually. So, yes, we need Soraya and Agnar, please, to roll.
Soraya in the further back boat has hit a 9.
Okay.
Oh no.
Oh no. Agnar.
Agnar made a 4.
A 4. Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, hitting a bit of the wave coming off the back of this giant beast in front sort of throws some air through the intake of the hydrojet, and for a little while it splutters and you lose power for a few moments before it catches again on smooth, free flowing water. And yes, it does slow you down enough that your quarry seems to smoothly accelerate away.
Oh, just when I thought we were going to catch him.
Just as we were closing in.
Okay.
Is the fin still alongside that boat though?
The fin appears to have fallen a little bit back.
Mm-hmm.
Perhaps the speed of the boat is difficult for it to keep up with. It's trying hard. You can now see the thrashing in the water of a tail fin behind the main fin. The gap between the two is about 8 meters.
Okey-dokey.
Are we going back to the was it last week we were talking about not having to outrun the bear? Just having to outrun not be the slowest person in the chase.
Yeah, outrun the fin. Oh no. Quick. Well, it's a straight race for the beach as well, isn't it? There's no other way to break it off now. That's the closest part of beach we can be, I guess.
Pretty much.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. The creature, whatever it is, has been unable to close the gap on the boat. So final go to see if you can get to him before he makes it off towards the shallows.
Come on, Agnar.
And
I'll tell you what, I'm changing dice. I'm told.
I think while Agnar's steering, Kara's going to pull out the laser pistol, which has got a slightly better range, but it's less.
Okay.
But it's less cool.
No, my poor roll affected your coolness.
Yeah, my
sorry.
coolness has gone right down. A lot less cool now.
Oh, that's good though.
Oh,
That's pretty good.
Daddy Agnar.
9 plus 2 is 11.
Wow. Okay, that is
really difficult to read though.
For what it's worth, Soraya has decided that they are just going for a nice day's fishing or something, and has just hit a 3.
Okay. Yes. Yes, she probably slips her hand off the throttle lever or something, and it returns automatically to 0 before she gets her hand back on it and pushes it forward.
Exactly.
Yes. You are in fact closing, not dramatically, but you are closing on the fleeing boat. The person driving it looks over his shoulder and sees the massive fin that's sort of tracking him, and you beyond it, enthusiastically closing the distance. And he turns right and tries to head along the sort of shape of the curve of the island, aiming for the sort of point where the dotted line buoy markers are a little bit away from the first cove to the south.
Yeah.
Just a little bit left of the first cable car.
Got you.
Okay, so he's heading straight in towards the beach.
Yeah, hard in. So, so he's steering right for that, and because of that, you actually get close to alongside him about the same time that the creature does. So, can I have everyone roll for initiative, please?
I take it just the front boat. I take it now the back boat.
Yes, for the time being, just the front boat.
Doing their own thing. 8 plus is intellect or dex, right? Or education and dex.
Intellect or dexterity.
Okay, so 10. 10 for Kara.
Agnar got a 4 plus 2, so 6.
6 for Agnar. Okay.
definitely time for wine if we've got if we're having to roll for initiative.
Right. What's Agnar's dexterity?
It's 12.
Okay. Right. Right. And okay. Right. You put alongside. Kara, you are first up.
Oh, I'm going to put up the combat bar. There we go, just because.
Ah.
The combat bar's up. Lovely, we love the combat bar. So we're directly alongside. Is the big fishy creature, the megalodon-esque thing, is that between us and the boat or the other side of his boat?
It's the other side of the fleeing boat.
Okay. I want answers rather than death. So I'm going to take an aim with my less cool laser gun. Thank you.
Understood.
At the engine, if possible, please.
Okay. Right. Now, aiming at the engine like that, I want you to take effectively your minor action to aim, your major action to shoot. Is that right?
Yes, please. That would be lovely.
Okay. So, yeah, let's roll the typical standard. So 2d6 plus your dex plus your relevant skill plus 1.
+1. Cool. Fantastic. So gun combat energy is a +1. My dex is 0, but then with the +1, so it's +2 to what I roll them. Come on. Oh, that +2 might help because I just hit a 6. 6 + 2 is 8. The magic roll. Thank goodness.
The magic roll.
The bare minimum.
It is enough to put a shot into the flank of the boat. So roll for damage, please. I think that's 3d6, isn't it?
It's laser pistols 3d + 3.
3d + 3. Excellent.
Yeah. Oh, I wish I could scroll down here. It's basically almost as good as it could have got. Oh, I've lost the dice there. I was showing it off and now I've lost the dice. Hang on. 17 + 3 is 20.
20. Okay.
And the 5 was the cold dice. That was the one that let me down.
Yeah, it didn't let you down by much, though, did it? Let's be honest.
No, I'm not sure that's evidence for cold dice rolling low, to be fair. I rolled a 5.
I think so.
But the warm dice rolled a 6. It's all relative.
It all is. Yes, okay. You launch a hit, and you do see this this slight change in the angle of the boat, as if the bow is just dropping a little bit, as if it's lost some power and is beginning to slow down dramatically. And over the course of not very many seconds, the prow dips deeper and deeper into the water. It slows right down, and it seems to come almost to a complete stop. And you are now essentially racing towards it, and can easily pull alongside. However, as you do, suddenly this gigantic fish leaps out of the water. Not fully out, but only its tail remains inside. And it comes down in this elegant curve onto the stricken boat. The pilot makes a dex check. Oh, he does all right, actually.
Oh, good.
He does okay, and leaps overboard just in time as the mass of this 30-ton fish completely obliterates, smashes to kindling the boat, and the fish disappears beneath the surface.
It's the man bobbing around.
Agnar.
Can Agnar pull alongside in the boat?
Yes, absolutely. You can put
Alongside
alongside
the man.
the chap in the water.
Paddling away, yeah.
Okay. Yes, you can absolutely do that. Can you roll a quick dex check for me to find out how elegantly you do it?
Yeah. This is where we suck him into the jet engine.
We've come to save you. Oh.
That's a 7 plus 2 is 9.
9. Okay. Yes. You do it well enough. You pull alongside, and the guy desperately grabs onto the gunwale of your boat. He looks quite frightened.
Agnar will say, Cara, do you want to help him in? And then if he's got anything left that he can do, can we sort of head back towards the middle-ish of the lake? Slowly. No rush. We'll just go back out away from land.
Sure.
Casual pace.
You can certainly turn the boat and begin to do that. I mean, these essentially vehicles tend to have a reasonable amount of distance to travel, and you didn't need to do very much to catch him. And they can also do a certain amount of turn. So I suspect you won't have too much difficulty roaring a little bit out towards the centre of the lake. It won't be very far, but it'll be moving in that direction.
Yeah, I mean, he's happy chugging along slowly towards the middle. We don't need to get there quickly.
Okay. Cara, can you do a strength check for me, please?
To hoist him in. I don't necessarily want to hoist him in yet.
Okay, fair enough.
I want to catch the expression on his face. Does he look... Oopsie. Oh, I've just wasted a 6. Oh no! And it got cold on the cold floor.
They're in short supply. That's the problem. They're rationed.
I'm not doing any tests for a while now. I'm only going to do simple things. Does he look like shaken and fearful? Does he look like panting for breath? Is it, from what she could tell, is she going to get any sense out of him at this moment in time, or is he literally clinging, to be rescued?
Let's see. He is holding onto the gunwale, trying to haul himself into the boat, but the boat is moving. It's hard when the water's flowing past, and he seems to be very frightened, but compos mentis.
Okay. Cara's going to sheathing the laser pistol. She's going to press a little button to pop up her cooler laser pistol, which she can use now. And sort of, as she reaches towards him, make it very clear that she's reaching with that laser pistol hand, if that makes sense, towards him, so that it's very visible in his face. And says, "What's your name?"
Okay. Can you roll a persuade check for me with Boone? With your choice of intellect or social.
So hang on, we're out of combat. I need to change my combat bar now. It was fun using the combat bar though. I enjoyed that. Let's go back to that. So what do I need? I need a persuade plus intellect plus Boone. Those are all good things.
Yes.
Persuade is 2 plus intellect is 2, so I'm +4 with a Boone. Okay. Oh, just as well. See, I told you I wasted that 6. A 1 was in there. So I've hit a 5 plus 4 is a 9.
Okay. All right. Yeah. He says, "My name's Falco."
Cara will sort of she'll have heard the name, but of course she wasn't there. She's never run into the guy before, so she'll sort of leave him dangling a bit, and without looking away from him, she'll sort of call over her shoulder, "Agnar, this is Falco."
Haven't we heard that name before? I mean, Agnar certainly has, but he's not going to let on.
I think Agnar's been shot at by him.
You don't have to help him in if you want. Have you ever been trolling, fishing before?
Catch one and let it back.
Yeah.
Ah.
We
Cara will say, why did you run?
I was worried you might have someone with you.
There's a lot of people that seem to be worried that we might have someone with us. But Agnar, have we got anyone with us?
I mean, we've got Falco.
That is true. Yeah, he's with us. Falco's with us. That is all we've got with us, though, isn't it? At the minute.
Rick's pretty scary.
Rick. Are you scared of biology, Falco?
Look, could you get me out of the water before that thing comes back?
You got any weapons on you, Falco?
Laser pistol.
Can you, if you can you flick it up or let it go to the murky depths? Consider that payment, I guess.
He's going to try. Oh, it's not too bad. Okay. He manages to throw it over the side of the boat into the boat.
Cool. Cara, keeping the gauntlet laser on, Cara then reaches more using the other arm, I guess, which would be her right arm, to help him and try and hoik him up. She's only little, but you know she'll do the best she can. Her strength is terrible, so she'll probably topple him with him. But we'll give it a go.
She's got to be stronger than Agnar, though.
Oh, this is the weak boat, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Okay.
We might have to just drag him back to the other boat.
Yeah, if we can't get him in, we'll just take him to the beef.
Well, the obvious way to do this is it's an athletics strength check. So your athletics strength skill plus your actual strength bonus.
Oh no! Right, I'm rolling at a -4.
Wow. Okay.
She got a strength of 4 and no athletic strength at all.
You can have a boon though.
Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate that. It's like he's pretending to be generous.
Well, he's trying to help you.
That's true.
Desperate to get out.
Yeah, he's not like gonna want to pull in.
He's not resisting.
I rolled a 6. It's a 2.
It's a 2 total. Okay. You sort of heave him a little bit up out of the water, and then your strength deserts you a little bit. He slips back down again, and he's holding onto the gunnel. And as he does, you see the fin re-emerge about 50 meters away.
How close are Soraya and Stefan?
About as far away as the fin, but in a different direction.
Got it. Yep. Has Agnar got a shotgun with him? What you got? No. Oh no.
I don't believe Agnar brought anything with him. I think he purposefully dropped them back at the ship.
I'm pretty sure that's right.
Because it's party Agnar.
Yeah, because we're at a theme park.
Yeah,
his family's here.
I seem to remember. Does Agnar actually have a laser pistol? I think he does, doesn't he?
He doesn't. He has a laser carbine.
Okay, then yes, you're right. He probably would have left everything.
Yeah, apart from the medikits.
But he could grab. He grab the pistol theoretically.
Yes, no reason why not. It's lying on the deck. It's an entirely solid state unit. It's not harmed by being wet.
Cara will shout, Agnar, I can't get him out. He's a big boy, and I just can't do it. Like, what do we do? She's in a bit of a flustered moment. She's just seen the thing come. She's looked at how big and wet and heavy Falco is, and she has one of those little moments where like this doesn't add up. I can't. I
mean, we can get him. We can get him back to shore, right? Should we turn back around and head back to shore? Or to the other boat? The other boat might be able to help us get him in if you think he's not going to run away when we get to shore.
That would be what's closer at the moment, Ben? The shore or the boat?
The boat. The other boat is closer. Not. I mean, there's not that much in it. It's sort of. You're probably 250 meters from shore and 50 meters from the boat. You know, they're both within relatively easy reach.
And the good thing is both boats are moving at once, whereas the shore is staying still.
Yeah, they do that.
boats or shores, or both?
No.
Both.
Okay. Kara will say to Falco, "You're going to need to hold on. Just hold on. I can't get you out, but I've got some friends who can."
Okay. So you're going to begin accelerating this boat towards the other boat?
Yes.
Okay. Right. I'm going to need Kara and Falco to roll strength checks.
Oh, for
Athletic
goodness.
I'll
strength
lose
check.
both of you.
Oh. It's not great. No boon this time.
Yes, you can have boon. You're trying to help each other.
Thanks, man. I do appreciate it.
Well, it seems fair since you are actually of a single mind, so to speak.
I think I've got to roll a 12 to hit an 8, so this could be fun. Come on. Well, it's better. 7, so that is a 3.
Okay. He actually rolled a 12, which is a +4.
Oh, Falco.
To make the strength check, and because you're not at the moment trying to haul him in, he's just trying to hold on.
Yeah.
That's enough. The difficulty you needed was a 6 overall. So yes, you've jointly managed to have him hold on to the boat, and the giant creature, this enormous shark, is coming closer still. And silently disappears beneath the water as it approaches.
Oh, I've watched Jaws. That's not a good thing.
How far are we from the other boat now?
The other boat. Can I have a Soraya Dex roll, please?
Oh yeah, of course. Come on. I need a good roll. It's been a while. Come on. Ooh, that's okay. It's an 8. 8 with zeros added on.
Okay. So yes, the other boat is within a few meters now, and Kara is beginning to throttle back so she can pull alongside.
Wonderful. Agnar will do the same. And just shout over to them. Can you get this guy in? It's Falco.
Okay. So how do you want to do this? Because Falco's currently got a death grip on the gunwales of your boat.
I don't blame him.
I mean, I guess we try and maneuver so that
he's between
without
the two?
without crushing him.
Yeah.
He's between the two. If we pass, can Stefan in the other boat just hold his arm out and take him off of Kara as we pass?
Oh, that's good.
We pass close enough that he could just hold out his arm and
yes, and Kara wouldn't oppose that, but Falco probably would, because he's not going to let go of the gunwale until he's got something better to hold on to. So so you'll have to do Stefan's strength opposed against Falco's.
Has he not seen how tight Stefan's t-shirt is?
Oh, Stefan's strength is very good.
Okay.
Let's see what happens. Oh, well, he rolled a 10 though, and he has a strength of 0.
It is enough, in fact. Falco's total, including his bonuses, is only a 9.
Yeah.
So you successfully grab him and pull him off the other boat, and now he's pulled sort of his back is against the gunwales of your boat. Now you can try and haul him out of the water if you'd like.
Wonderful. While we're doing that, as soon as Agnar realizes he's gone, can he also put the boat in full reverse?
Yes.
Wonderful. I'm assuming that will take us away from the path of the fish. Hopefully, space fish can't swim in reverse.
Assuming
At least for a little bit of time.
assuming the fish is still traveling in the same direction it was when you last saw it, it will carry you outside the path of the fish.
Yes, or a similar direction.
But fish can change direction.
Yes.
Down, fish.
Based on the last information he had.
Yes.
That's what he will do.
Okay. So we will have Stefan's strength check, please.
Wonderful.
You can have a boon with this, but Falco isn't able to help because he's currently facing the other way.
Okay. And this is strength check.
So this is athletics strength plus your strength modifier.
Wonderful. I don't suppose there's any way he could use athletics dexterity.
No, I'm afraid this is a heavy lifting job. Sorry.
That's all right. They're both 0, so he's got 0.
Use your stealth. Him not realizing it's there.
Yeah. The boon is good though. That is a 10 plus 0.
Get in.
A 10 plus 0. Okay. You begin to haul him slowly and agonizingly slowly out, and as you do, I need you to roll an athletics dexterity check for me, please.
That is a 5 plus 2 is 7.
7. Okay. Suddenly, the boat jerks and shakes violently as something hits it from below. And though you don't lose your grip on him, he does slip back all the way into the water, taking your sort of your clenched fist with it.
Oh no! But he's still holding on.
He's still holding on. Yep.
Okay.
You've still got him. Okay. Next up, you going to try and pull him out of the water again?
Yeah, I think so. Unless Kara or Soraya have got anything they want to do, or any cunning plans.
If Soraya came over to try and help, would that become like a chain, one of our chain things?
Yes. Or since it's
Like two
in
people
essence
trying to help.
the alternative is you could have boon on it with effectively the assistance of another person. So either of those are possible. You can either build a chain if you like, or just take a boon.
Boon would be better because I think Boon would help you, Stefan, more than because she could do it, but she'd be doing it altogether. Her strength would be a 0, but her athletic strength with Jack of all trades would be -1. So you rolling with a Boon is probably better than Soraya's stats.
Okay.
Yeah.
As she runs back, can I have Agnar roll a survival check for me, please?
Certainly can. Survival for Agnar is going to be a 6 total.
Okay. Agnar suddenly realizes that he can see the fin again. It's almost as if he didn't initially notice it, but it is coming towards the two boats that are quite close together at massive speed. And it's one of those things where you think, I should have seen that a while back, but you've only just spotted it. And it is almost on top of you when you see it appear in your vision and catch your attention. And just as it approaches, it disappears under the water, and this time it's close enough you can actually hear the slap of the waves closing behind its tail. So we need to roll with Boone, with Stefan, to try and get this guy out of the water.
Okay. That is a 10. 6 and
A
4.
10. Okay. All right. And can you roll a dexterity check for both Stefan and Kara, please?
Yeah. Is this
Kara or
just
Soraya? Sorry.
Oh, sorry, Soraya, who's coming to help. Yeah.
Yeah, cool.
Is this just straight dexterity?
This will be athletics dexterity.
Okay.
Oh, I hit
So it's your
0.
athletics dexterity skill plus your dex bonus.
Ah, wonderful.
Okay.
That is a 5 plus 4 is 9 for Stefan.
Okay.
6 for Soraya.
6.
She's a bit
Okay.
she's a bit wobbly making her way over, it seems.
Yeah. No, this time, again, the boat is shocked by, like, the bow wave almost, the current in the water as this enormous fish approaches. But this time, if anything, the rocking seems to aid you, and you just haul Falco out over the top. And I do mean just. That was extremely close. That was 1 point.
Oh, wow.
And you just haul Falco out over the top. And as you do, the shark visibly comes, really close to the surface. This sort of weird, ghostly white underbelly turned on the side, and the slate grey top with the slate grey fin, and it passes close enough to Agnar's boat that the boat is rocking significantly as it reverses away.
To shore?
Kara, yes, please.
Agnes.
Get us to shore, please. Come on. Agnar.
Yeah, and Agnar will punch it to the closest bit of shore he can see.
Okay. The closest to where you are now is, it's very roughly the bottom middle of the 3 towers, or the 3 cable car towers.
Yeah.
That's about the closest point. There's not a huge amount in it, but that's probably the closest run to actually get to the edge of the beach, at least. And so you gun it, and presumably is Soraya going? Sorry,
Yeah, it will be Soraya on the other
yeah,
boat.
Soraya doing the same thing. Soraya's
Yes.
got to get back to her console.
Yep.
So it's going to cost her a move action before she can set off.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Cool. Yeah, but then she'll gun it as well.
But Agnar can go immediately. Right, Agnar, a straight dex for me, please.
Wonderful. That's a 7 plus 2 is 9.
Okay. You accelerate fairly solidly, and you can quite rapidly see the approaching line of marker buoys, which seem to demark where the swimming and water sports take place, presumably over shallower water or something similar. And it's coming closer and fairly quickly.
He'll once, just to specify, once he gets into the swimming area, he will go very slowly.
Okay, very slowly.
He assumes that the giant fish doesn't frequent the swimming area, and he will just, ease up and make sure he doesn't hit any swimmers.
All right. Okay. All right. So, Agnar will have your go again now for your second dex check, please.
Okay. That is an 8 plus 2. It's 10.
An 8 plus 2. Okay. While we're doing this, Soraya, you can have your first go. Straight dex.
As she pulls the power on, she's going to half look back over at Falco and say, "We really need a bigger boat." And then guns it with a 4.
A 4. Okay. The engine splutters a bit. It's like she's slightly over revved it before it was properly flowing with the water, and it starts to move, but it's a bit jerky and not very efficient as it sets off.
Drive first, quip later.
Agnar, as you approach the line of boys, you can tell something that was perhaps not immediately obvious from any kind of distance. They actually mark the top of a fairly substantial barrier under the water, which is made of netting and fixed pylons and things of that nature to separate the deeper part of the lagoon from the area where the swimming and the water sports take place. Your boat is very, very shallow draft, and the top of it appears to be designed so you can just drive a boat straight over it. But I'll need you to make a straight dex check as you do it.
Okay. If it would have been a deeper boat or a more rigid wall, he possibly would have sped up and gone for a little jump.
Oh, yeah.
That's a 7 plus 2 is 9.
Okay. The boat definitely, you feel it hit the top of the net, but it is a soft structure. It's designed to have some give in it, and though it rattles you a little bit, shakes you around a little bit, it absolutely does not cause any damage to the boat that you can tell, and you seem to be now drifting gently on the swimmer's side of that net and fence.
Wonderful.
That's what we like. A bit of serenity.
So, Soraya.
She's going to focus on the job at hand this time. And she doesn't... a bit better, I guess. It's hard to tell. 7.
7. Okay. You're finally getting the engine going. Can Stefan give me a quick survival check, please?
He certainly can.
As he gets dragged off the back.
8. That is an 8 minus 3. It's 5.
Okay. Fair enough. Okay, Soraya, your second go, you're powering the boat on. It's moving in the right direction. You can feel a sense of accomplishment flowing through you.
She always does.
Your second go.
It's one of her strengths. That feeling of accomplishment. 6.
A 6. Once again, the engine, it's almost like it catches a crab. It's like you're in your nervousness, you're sort of over revving it too soon, and it's sucking in air, and it's letting out inefficient jet water, and the boat seems to slow a little bit and dip a little bit.
She's made for the air, not the sea.
Yes, she is. She's definitely made for the air. Okay, and that moment, you feel this this crash into the bottom of the boat, and the boat begins to split a little bit open, and you can actually hear water rushing in.
Oh, no. How far away are we from the barrier?
About 175 meters.
Is there? Have we got a pump? Have we got a hand?
Buckets or something.
Yeah.
Better get a bucket.
Stefan, start trying to get rid of the water somehow.
Okay.
So I was sort of doing this in the chair, like the come on. Move,
yeah,
move,
I know it's a very shallow boat.
Yes, there isn't seemingly much in the way of bailing apparatus in this boat. It's just a utility boat, plastic hold, basically. It's not really intended to be manned for any length of time.
You mean they didn't plan for idiots to get hold of them?
They apparently did not plan for idiots. Yeah. Okay.
I hope they've got
Soraya?
a box.
Come on.
You know what I'm going to say? I need you to make your decks.
Come on, make it this time. Finally. 11.
Nice.
Okay.
At the right time, hopefully, after all that nonsense. Come on, Soraya.
Boat is not accelerating as quickly as it did earlier. It's taken on a bit of water. There's a bit more drag from a damaged hull, but it does begin to close the gap towards the beach and towards the fence. And for whatever reason, the shark is rolling terribly. So,
Thank goodness for that.
So, if you can roll me one more, that will be enough to get you to the fence.
Right, you say that.
Well,
That's
if
big
you
it.
we'll get you there.
We'll see. This could go either way. 7.
7, okay. 7 doesn't quite get you to the fence. You're 25, 30 meters short when suddenly the shark appears along the side of the hull and seems to want to just try and bite through the entire flank of the boat. It grabs it in its mighty jaws and begins to crush down with astonishing force. The side of the boat buckles and splits and cracks. Can I have everybody roll on athletics dexterity, please? That obviously includes Falco.
Yeah. Is that just athletics dexterity or
Athletics dexterity plus dexterity.
Cool.
Yep.
Good.
Indeed. Oh, that's pretty good. That's a 9 plus 4 for Stefan. That's 13.
Oh, Stefan.
Okay, that's very good.
7 plus nothing for Soraya.
7. Falco did the same. So Stefan makes an elegant entry into the water.
Swan dive.
Pretty much, yeah. It's a flawless, jump straight off the side, bang in. He's moving like a motorboat. The other two make it into the water, but they are right in the immediate path of the boat and have to decide what to do because the boat is being shaken around. It's being torn to pieces. There's debris going everywhere. There's this massive fish still holding on to it right there. Falco decides he's going to swim down, get underneath the floating boat pieces. And so he's going to have a quick check. Not too bad, actually, not too bad. And he's going to try and swim for the fence. Soraya?
So, am I in the midst of the carnage, basically?
Essentially, you're more or less alongside the shark. The shark has the boat in its mouth, in its toothy maw, and it is shaking the boat from side to side, shaking its entire body, which is massive. I mean, this is a 16-meter long fish, and it is shaking this boat to pieces and crushing the side of it very, very efficiently. There's going to be nothing but twisted plastic left in a few seconds.
And how big are its teeth?
They are the main teeth are about 6 inches per tooth.
I'll do what Falco did then. I'll try and elegantly try to sort of avoid it by getting under and heading for the fence as well.
Okay, can you roll an athletics endurance check for me, please?
Oh my goodness. Okay, well that's a minus.
Using all the athletics today.
No, thank goodness for jack of all trades. That's what I'm saying.
Is that plus endurance?
Yes, plus endurance.
Oh, thank goodness for that. That's a +1. Okay, cool. So balances out. We don't use endurance much, apart from when you're getting injured, so I'm quite pleased about that. Oh, it could be okay. She's hit an 8. 8 plus 1 minus 1, 8.
Excellent. Okay. She surfaces the other side of the boat and starts swimming towards the fence. She's just behind Falco. In fact, he actually rolled a 9, so she is just behind him.
Oh no, you just mustn't be the slowest.
And the two of you begin to swim. Behind you, the shark is done with the boat, discards it as being of no interest to it whatsoever, and within a couple of seconds of making that decision, it disappears beneath the water. I'm going to need you to roll athletics endurance, please.
Okay.
And this is an opposed roll against, obviously, Severs.
Oh, fine. This is good. She's hit her best one of the evening. 11 plus 1 minus 1 is 11.
4.
Okay. As you're approaching the fence, you actually pull ahead of Sever.
Yes.
He rolled a 7.
Yeah.
And you pull just past him. And okay. As he is almost within touching distance of the fence, the vast mass of this shark flies up past him out of the water, its jaws open, aiming for his legs and lower body, trying to swallow him almost like half of him whole. But it misses. Only by a bit, but it does miss.
Oh, God.
And Sever doesn't even have to clamber over the fence because the actual explosion of water, the wave that the shark creates, throws him over the fence into the shallow water where the swimmers are.
We need to talk to the mayor. I don't think that's going to keep the
Can,
shark out very well.
Can I cut to a moment where Agnar is sat on the boat peacefully the other side of this fence, just videoing the three of them splashing around and the giant shark jumping out of the water, to later post to social media, shark attack at Earthworld.
He won't be alone.
Should he need to?
As you look along the beach, there seem to be an awful lot of people who have their communicators out with their lenses uncapped, shall we say.
So are we all are we all safely over the fence?
Yes.
In different levels of stress, I guess.
Yes.
I guess now's a good time for a toilet break then.
I think it probably is. Yes, let's do that now.
I actually need to do a toilet after all that, so that'd be quite helpful.
You've just been swimming around for ages. You could have just let it go.
Just let it go.
You know you're allowed to go in the sea, right?
Oh yeah. I probably did when the shark came, to be honest.
Yes. It was completely involuntary.
Yeah, it really was. Didn't choose that one. So if you are watching, we're just going to vanish for about 5 minutes just to catch a breath of air and toilet, refill our drinks, and we will see you in 5 minutes. If you are drinking, please fill your glass because we have the customary toast when we return. Thank you.
Snipes was a tabletop role-playing game interviews and actual play podcast. We interview content creators, Twitch streamers, and fellow podcasters, and we put out our own actual play reference systems. So come and join us, come and have a listen. You can find us on Twitter at Return Snyder. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or check out our website at www.snidesreturn.squarespace.com. Snide's Return is a tabletop role-playing game interviews and actual play podcast. We interview content creators, Twitch streamers, and fellow podcasters, and we put out our own actual play using a variety of different systems. So come and join us, come and have a listen. You can find us on Twitter at Return Snyder. You can find us on Instagram, Facebook, or check out our website at www.snidesreturn.squarespace.com.
Oh, we're back. I even set it up as well for once. That's about the slickest I've ever been. And then I lost it all by boasting about how slick I was.
Yeah.
Just played it cool.
It was worth it.
Yeah, you need to walk away from the explosion with it happening behind you. That's the cool way to do it.
Rather than like, finally I've teed the right thing up. So yeah, for those that saw the advert, thank you for Snyder. And they're a group that are definitely looking to support streamers, tabletop role players, and that. So check it out. There's a load on their site. It's well worth checking out. And on the 28th, we do have a special interview. I guess this is our big announcement on the thingy. Let me. I'm going to put it back up. Oh no, now I've ruined it now. I was so smart. There we go. Ewan's vanished. It's for the greater good.
That's always for the greater good.
We're chatting with Pat from Diesel Shot. They've got a Kickstart coming out on the 21st. It's starting, so we've picked them a week later. It is sci-fi. It's got the word communism in it, which I'm quite excited about. I believe it's queer communism sci-fi adventure with some amazing looking graphics that I've seen quite a lot of, and we'll all be there for that, won't we? 11 o'clock start?
Yes. Yeah, we will definitely be involved, chatting away.
We're braving a late midweek to bring stars from America over to the UK. How magical that is. Anyway, Ewan's actually vanished because he thought he wasn't coming back.
I had cat related issues. Apologies.
Yes.
I was here.
Cat's on the internet. It'll never catch on.
Exactly. No one wants to see your cat. Right. As we haven't yet found a chance for me to lose this role, which I think we will in a couple of sessions' time.
Hopefully.
It is still my task for us to lead the toast to Grey Best, a fine man. Well, I don't know. We didn't know him that long. He seemed all right. He was good at serving drinks. He was a brave man, willing to put himself in the line of fire with no armor and no military skills.
He bought us alcohol.
He bought us alcohol. He served us alcohol. He kept us happy during many weeks of jumps. Quite a few weeks of jumps, I feel.
And what bad things can you say about a man who brings you alcohol?
For that reason
alone, wanting nothing in return.
You can say he was a rubbish shot.
Yeah.
Well, yes, that is true.
Rubbish shot, good at pouring shots.
Died easy.
Yeah. And so for that reason, all those reasons, I want us to raise our glasses and toast the late, great Grey Best.
To Grey Best.
I don't know if it's inappropriate, but I am toasting with dice in my sweaty hands just to keep them warm. It's what he would have wanted.
Yeah. I thought you were going to say the glass then.
In the glass.
Pickled dice.
Pickled dice.
Quite right. Yes, it's the way he would have wanted to be remembered.
With sweaty dice.
Sweaty dice, yeah. Yeah, certainly better than being mummified inside a sort of bar made out of aspic or whatever you were aiming for.
I think with his buttock showing, I believe, and his toe dangling out.
With his buttock sticking out of the top and his toe dangling out the bottom so you can dip it in your drink. Yes. Yeah.
Sweaty dice feels a lot better all of a sudden.
Yeah, suddenly it feels like the right way to go, yes. So, as we resume, we have two of our party in a boat, which is pootling about in the gap between the beach and the fence.
I like the idea that they are pootling about as well, just like bit of sticking and doing.
Yeah, and the other two, along with Falco, who they rescued, after arguably chasing him into danger, but nonetheless rescued, are sort of swimming towards the beach. So, do you want to go and collect them in the boat, or do you just want to meet them at the beach?
Oh no, that is a question. Let's go collect them. We'll do the Agdar will do the nice thing.
I think
He'll
so.
go
Okay.
collect.
Right.
You can
So-
pick them out then, because Kara certainly isn't.
You don't literally need to haul them out of the water, of course.
No.
You can just have them hang on to the sides of the boat and then drive it slowly towards the beach.
Oh yeah, I like it.
Just means they don't have to wear themselves out swimming for a couple of 100 yards.
Yeah. Sounds reasonable.
And it keeps
Okay.
keeps Falco close as well.
So you can I have a quick dex check to make sure that you can control the boat well enough to do so gently?
Yes, that is 6 plus 2.
Ah, lovely. Okay.
Is 8.
Yeah, you have no problems at all towing them gently towards the beach, and you eventually bring the boat to a stop, and those hanging onto the side of the boat can easily drop off and almost wade to the shore. It's a very shallow slope of water there. And if you want, you can hop out of the boat as well, and so all of you can join up on the beach.
Yeah, makes sense. Agnar will jump out, assuming the others don't want to get closer. He'll sort of turn and look at Kara.
Kara will. The laser pistol never got picked up in the end, did it, Falco's?
No.
So
No.
she'll grab it. She'll stuff it into her waistband. So wherever she's gonna stash it into something,
Oink that.
and then keep the keep her gauntlet laser out at this point. She's not. She's got a wary eye on Falco, but then she will follow after Agnar as well.
Okay.
Just a quick question, Ben. What sort of time of day is it? And do we know what time Earth Park closes?
Right. The time of day is what you call early afternoon, I guess, or maybe mid-afternoon by now. Yeah, probably 3 o'clock, something like that in our terms.
Yeah.
Earth Park doesn't technically close. Its access becomes more sporadic overnight, but there are people who come to enjoy it overnight as well.
Ooh,
And
sounds lovely.
in the evening and all the way through the night, there are opportunities to see the animals in the dark and to go swimming at night if you want to. And there are people who enjoy the forest at night or the various entertainments they put on over the night.
Okay, perfect. So
That's
Agnar
awesome.
isn't severely annoyed that he couldn't pick up all of the reptiles on his augmented reality app because he's got a chance. Not that he didn't have chance within the next year, but
Yeah, you can essentially work on the basis that the dirigible rides become less frequent, and the park becomes less busy at night, but it is still open and operating.
Okay, cool, perfect. To the beach then, I suppose.
As you haul yourselves out onto the beach, slightly bedraggled and a bit shaken, a woman runs down towards you, and you recognise her. Her name's Emma Corbett, and she is a Black Sun operative.
Good old Emma Corbett. Soraya will shout at her. Did you know you got a big fish in there?
Emma sort of says, I'd heard, I'd never seen it, you understand, but I'd heard they put a big fish in there. Yeah. It was a big fish, wasn't it?
Yeah, when you're next to it, that's all you can see.
Yeah. We heard that they were planning to make like a thing out of it, but they couldn't work out how to make it really viewable without people getting eaten. So it's a bit tabled at the moment, but I imagine they'll get around to it sometime. Maybe they'll come up with a ride like the one you just did.
If they do, I'd recommend that they get bigger boats.
You're going to need a much bigger boat. A mahusively bigger boat, yes. Yes. You might well need a bigger boat, yes. And she walks down to Falco and says, "You okay, Falco?" And he looks up like sort of, "I'm alive. It's enough for now. They shot at me."
Carl will say, "That's not totally true, is it, Falco? I could have shot at you. I shot at your engine because you ran away."
And then we saved your life, I think, Stefan will chip in. Didn't we? There was a fish that was trying to attack you savagely. We
Yes.
saved you from a fish, didn't we?
That is to a point true. Yes.
Carl will say to Emma, "Didn't you tell him that we weren't with Sever? He seemed to be suspicious of us still."
Roll a persuade check
Oh, I'm glad I said Carl.
with int or social.
Well, should be okay. Yeah. Oh,
There's no
okay.
greater feeling than when you pick the right
The right
player
person,
character.
and then roll something that I don't think I can lose on. 14.
Yeah. She says, "Well, Falco isn't what you'd call a full-time employee. So he's probably not really in the loop on that kind of thing. But he does seem to get himself into an awful lot of trouble, a lot more trouble than we really need him to, frankly. So I guess you guys are going to be famous pretty soon."
What makes you say that?
The sort of 100 or so people filming you run away from a giant shark.
Well, we weren't running away. We were tactically retreating. Turn to the nearest camera with someone filming.
Stefan
We weren't
thinks
running
back to
away.
his- Stefan thinks back to his slip on the boat when he let Falco fall back in. Not again. Another front flip moment.
That's going to be all around the news.
Yeah.
It won't be people just narrowly avoid being eaten by a massive shark. It'll be supposed gymnast makes dangerous blunder.
So, obviously, we should probably get you to the Earth Park offices where you can talk to the owners, I guess.
I've certainly got some complaints to lodge with them about the size of their fish.
The safety of their boats
The safety of their boats.
that aren't meant for visitors.
The ease it was for us to get into a boat. That could have been a child. Could have been a child in a little rubber ring or something.
It could have been. In fact, thematically, it would make perfect sense.
Exactly. Yeah. Okay. I think we're happy to go with that, aren't we?
Yeah. Which direction is that? He'll ask. Stefan will ask.
There's a park office here, but I think this really needs to be headquarters. So I'm afraid that's a dirigible ride away.
Okay. Should we ask the others? We still need to catch up with Rick and Rose and make sure they're okay.
Well, to be
Or at
honest, since
least send them a
everybody's
message.
okay and nobody's hurt, it's not urgent. I suspect they'll want to talk to you about what happened and possibly apologize for things, but everybody's fine. And the people on the beach seem to find it quite exciting.
I'd imagine it'd do some good things for the tourism around here.
Yeah, we don't want to be hired to do it twice daily and 3 times on a Saturday.
We all know what sharks do for the tourist industry.
Exactly.
In small towns.
The beaches are closed. Yes, you're absolutely right. And that is some bad hat, Harry. Okay. So you don't have to, I mean, you're not under arrest or anything. If you want to visit the offices later, then by all means.
Yeah, might be nice to get some dinner first. We haven't eaten today, and we've just had a bit of an energetic moment, so it might be nice for us to gather our thoughts, grab something to eat, and if you let us know where we need to be, I'm sure we can head on over later.
Yes, that sounds great. It's actually not a not a difficult place to find, because if you think of the city of Selville, Kuala is Earth Park Central. It's where the hotel is, and in the same complex is the headquarters building, and you really can't miss it. It is, it is the biggest building there.
Well, that's perfect. We can go back to the hotel, have a change, have a bit to eat, and then we can always wander over later, I guess.
Who should we say we're there to see when we arrive? I assume there's a reception.
There is. I mean, the person you probably need to speak to is Lan Potero.
How are we spelling that, please?
Lanpotero.
Thank you. Okay.
And should we say that you sent us?
By all means. Yes.
Well then, sounds like a plan.
Falco is in the process of sort of slouching off towards the nearest terminal for the cable car.
Cara will click and reach into her thing and run up to him and whip out the laser pistol and sort of pat it against his chest. Say, I hope you realise we're not dangerous, and we're just here to enjoy a week's vacation while our ship gets fueled and everything. So,
thank you.
I'm glad you made it.
I appreciate it. Thank you. Yes, thank you very much. So yes, you have essentially split your party, of course, because your 2 NPCs are over at the Reptile Rocks. So you can go and visit them and see the reptiles, or you can call for them to come to you, whichever you prefer. Or just leave them. I mean, they might be enjoying themselves while you do other things.
It's a long way round back to the Reptile Rocks, Agnar.
It is. I was very much hoping to check off all of the sites on our little.
Well, it is a very long way round,
app.
but not in terms of time, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
Once you're on the cable car, the only genuinely slow part of the link is the bit across the Therium Terraces, where it slows down deliberately to give people a top-down view. You see what I mean? Other than that, it whips people about reasonably quickly.
Kara will say, if you want to go, I'll come with you. Where Soraya's more looking back towards the cocktail bar, I think, and sort of nudging Stefan. You know, we don't want if Rose and what's his name again, Rick. If Rose and Rick do come down, we don't want them to not have a friend here. So maybe we should, wait here.
Yeah. We'll catch them if they don't find anything interesting in the reptile area and they come straight down. We'll wait at the first little cocktail. We'll wait at the first little stop, and make sure that they don't get lost. You guys go around and see them if you want.
Okay. So
and Agnar will say to Kara, "You don't have to come if you don't want to, but I'll probably pop round."
Okay. So you're going to go to the cocktail area on the southernmost point of the loop there where you are?
Yeah.
Or are you going to head further around or anywhere else?
Can we see the other one, the one that's closer to the reptile area?
Yes.
It's walkable.
Oh God, yes, yeah.
But we could see them if they got off and started.
It's a few hundred meters, but it's definitely walkable. Yeah. Probably closer to half a mile, I would guess. Actually,
we'll go to the closest one. Or Stefan will. I'm not speaking for Soraya.
You are speaking for Soraya.
In practice, you are. Okay. So the two of you go to the southernmost of the terminals for the cable car, and the others go to the same location, but for the other reason of jumping on an actual cable car, and set off around the beach, doing the entire lap of the beach, more or less. It is much as you'd expect. It goes fairly swiftly around the beach. It's mostly for transport there. You get the vague feeling that the middle leg that sort of crosses over the edges of the water slows down a little bit, so you can see the swimmers and people in the water below you. But it's a carefully maintained arrangement where the cable cars travel more quickly when they're further spaced out. And as you head around once again over the Therium Terrace, you find they all bunch up because they all slow down again. And then you pass through the Carnivore Caves terminal where you jumped on your boats, and then eventually arrive, only 15 minutes later, if that, at the Reptile Rocks. And there you find yourself on this sort of dumbbell-shaped plateau, and the end of it you're at, the western end of it, is largely devoted to an open area around the foot of it, which is filled with a really large group of, well, it's tempting to say just giant tortoises overlooking the water. They are, even for giant tortoises, which are quite substantial, these are giant tortoises. Your system reports they're called megalocalis, and they run up to about 8 feet long and weigh up to 2.5 tons. They are big, even for a giant tortoise. The other sides, and as you sort of look around towards the east, you do in fact catch a glimpse of Rose and Rick, who are both on the eastern end of the sort of dumbbell, and they are enthusiastically pointing at things from the far end.
Kara will immediately run over towards Rose and just sort of, do the whole tap her on one shoulder, but appear over the other as she turns around.
Yes, I know the thing.
She'll just do that, and then when Rose finally catches her, big grin, quick arm round her. How you having a good time? How's it going?
Oh yeah, says Rose. It's great. These are wonderful, wonderful things. I'm sorry you haven't spent time with us because we've had a lot of fun. It must have been boring away where you were.
Oh, we saw plenty of animals. Well, I say plenty of animals. We saw plenty of an animal.
An animal.
Yeah, there was plenty to see.
Animal.
Animal.
Plenty of animal.
Plenty of an animal.
there was more than enough animal to go around.
Exactly.
Yeah. So essentially, off the southern point, what they're pointing at in that direction is a lowered pool with some water in it, a bit of flowing water through it, and in it, according to the update in your device, you can see something called Purosaurus. And it's one of those things. Initially, you think, I can't see anything because it's all just rocks and flowing water and trees and what have you. And then you start to realize that your scale's a bit wrong, and that those 4 rocks add up to a 12-meter long crocodile, which is indeed what Purosaurus is. An absolutely massive, massive crocodile, twice as long as a saltwater croc. In the other direction, towards the north, are a whole series of staggered rocks, and scattered around them, wandering around from one pile of rancid meat to another, are monitor lizards. So if you're familiar with how a Komodo dragon looks, a big, thick-bodied lizard, these animals, Megalania, are like that, only twice as long, weighing up to 600 kilograms. They are enormous lizards, and there's something very alien about them. The size seems wrong, the scale seems wrong, but also just the way they move and they snap and they eat and the noises they make. It's very disconcerting when you see them up close. And of course, you get to see them up close.
Kara grabs Agnar's device off him and starts snapping photos.
Whoa!
She's gonna try and start snapping photos.
Okay.
You know you love it. She'll do it in
don't forget the augmented reality. Catch.
Yeah, that's it.
Catch more.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna let it time out so that I can't get into all your personal details. But I'll do it on the, when you can take photos without being logged in. I'll do that. She respects his personal space in that regard. But she'll start snapping photos of him. She knows he loves it. Bless him. With his chest puffing out and his happy face.
He'll ask Rose and Rick if they want to team photo. Should we? And he'll pose in a very cheesy manner with them.
Sure. Yeah. Team selfies. Great idea.
Yeah.
And it is seemingly a very relaxed environment. These animals are impressive to look at, but they're not a threat to anyone on the observation platform. There's no way they could possibly reach them. So people are crowding right to the edge, right to the barrier, and looking down and doing exactly what you're doing. They're updating their little app, and they are the augmented reality app, and they are taking photographs and they're taking selfies and they're recording little miniature hollow videos and doing all the things you do. And it does seem to be that these reptiles are certainly at least as interesting to the visitors as the carnivores are. It seems to be as busy. And it's at that moment you discover a little bit why, because it turns out to be time to feed the Purosaurus. And an automated device extends from the platform from beneath the feet and carries a carcass out to this enormous crocodile that's there and drops it in. And immediately you realize that there isn't like one such crocodile. There are perhaps 6 or 7 in there. And they all powerfully swim together towards this carcass and begin grabbing onto it and rolling and spinning and trying to tear chunks off it. They do so with significant ease. It appears the carcass might not be completely fresh, and it comes apart very straightforwardly in the jaws of these massive predators. And within very few minutes, they've skulked away to their corners and their shallows, and little bits of overgrown surround of the pond. And once again, you can't really be sure you can see any at all. There might be 1, there might be 2. They're very stealthy animals.
Sneaky. Makes me feel hungry. Not for rotten meat, but the afternoon is wearing on.
Rotting carcass always does that for me as well. Yeah.
Cara will think back to the barbecue that Daddy Agnar was handing out a couple of sessions ago, early on this morning. She's like, oh yeah. She'll turn to, she'll like look to Rose and Rick and say, "Are you guys hungry?"
Weirdly, yes. Actually, could eat.
As we've got tickets, should we head back towards the hotel? There's bound to be a load of good places. Well, maybe not good, but there'll be a load of places to eat around there, as it is the hotel for Earth Park. So should we go back, find something tasty to eat, and enjoy a late afternoon chill?
Few drinks.
Yeah.
Relax. Agner will just say, "Can I just have my my communicator back again?" And he'll, you know that when you're trying to fulfill every single segment of something and you scroll through like twice just to double check that you've ticked everyone off.
Yes,
of course. Check that he's got every animal, carnivore and reptile and whatnot.
You could actually make a case that he's seen one more animal than the app discloses.
Yeah, well, he does feel as though he should put that forward to head office, that they should at least add that to the app, for the hardcore enthusiasts amongst Earth Park.
Yeah,
for the boat thieves.
Yeah. Stroke idiots.
Quite right. Yes. Fair enough.
Yeah, he'll just make sure he's got them all, and then he is happy to wander off with the rest of them wherever they wish to go.
Okay. Okay. You make your way back to join the others at the beach without any incident. The day is still fairly bright and sunny. It's not sundown yet, and the beach is still fairly busy and fairly full. You note that there's a non-trivial number of people clustered around your companions, where they're drinking cocktails, asking them questions about the enormous fish and the and the thing they saw happen, which quite rapidly, of course, Rick becomes absolutely fascinated with. I'm sorry, big fish. They have a big fish. I want to see the big fish.
Really big fish.
Really big fish. Yeah, it's a much bigger fish than a fish you want to see. Trust me.
Yeah, Stefan will sort of say to him, I mean, I wouldn't recommend seeing it up close. It almost ate. In fact, it did eat. Where's Falco gone?
He was with us a second ago.
Yes. So,
All I've got is the remains of this cloth in my fingernails from where I couldn't drag him to his safety.
so yes, he is still jabbering you with questions as you set off back through the cable car ride to the fragrant forest, and then the dirigible ride back to the terminal for Earth Park on Sellville itself.
Can I just stop off really quickly? Can Stefan just wander off when we get back to the forest? Can he just say to everyone, "Oh, I'll catch you up. I won't be a minute," and he'll run off into the forest, and he would just like to find a sprig of flower or foliage or some kind of living thing that he can pluck off and take with him.
Okay. Roll a survival check for me.
Oh no. It's not streetwise. These streetwise flowers.
He's streetwise with his flowers.
Well, stop ad. It is 11.
Okay.
His survival is -3 though, and his intellect is 0.
So it's an 8.
So it's an 8.
Oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
Should be able to get something from that.
So even so, he does in fact manage to find a suitable blossom that he can take with him. Yes.
Wonderful. He'll delicately place it in, a pocket or a hole or whatever he's got on him, and run off to catch up with the others.
Okay. Right. No more gymnastics then.
No, not this time.
That's what I thought he was going to do.
He's just going to run off and do 4 more front flips.
Yeah, 2 out of 3 ain't bad.
See if there's an empty stage.
Absolutely.
Rush the stage.
So you clamber back onto the dirigible?
Yeah, why not?
Yes.
Okay. And you set off, and it drops you exactly as planned on the eastern edge of the peak of Elia. And just a short walk from there is the transit station.
Before we get to the transit station, Kara is going to turn to Agnar and say, we're heading further into the city. Are you still happy to go without weapons?
Oh, yeah, good point. Holiday's over.
Holiday's over, business is on.
I'll be back with guns, and he'll run off to the ship quickly and just pick up his shotgun and laser carbine. I guess he'll go grab everything and head off to the hotel with everything.
Are we allowed to be proper? Are we allowed to have proper armament? I can't. Was it as long as we're visible carry, isn't it? It's like
yeah. The rules of the city basically are you're not allowed things that avoid detection.
Yeah. So
you can't have those body pistols that are made of human bone or anything like that.
I'll leave that.
You have to. You don't necessarily have to have it on display, but you can't have any weapons that won't be represented in a scan.
Got you.
That's the deal.
If I remember, Kara can't bring any more. The rest of her weapons are back in space, I think. But Soraya will grab her Gauss rifle and a laser carbine as well.
Yep. Yeah. Yes, and presumably Agnar, he has a laser carbine and a shotgun, doesn't he?
Yes. Yeah, he'll pick up both. Okay.
Fair enough. So you collect your weapons and wander down into the transit hub. It's functional, not exactly elegant, but it seems clean and well run. And there's a regular service which takes you all the way around the loop to Venti. And it isn't very long before you can hop on one of the train cars. And as soon as it disappears, it feels like an underground system. And then suddenly, of course, you're thrown out into blazing sunshine with precipitous looking drops on both sides. And as you travel towards Kuala, the tracks you're on actually dive at one point through a tunnel drilled in the ridge line between Elia and Kuala. So you go fractionally through a sort of archway tunnel, which of course you guys remember well because it's that tunnel that you last saw Seva slouching into.
That's true.
And just a few minutes
signs
later,
there's no signs of like crumpled body or face down in the dirt.
roll a recon check.
Oh, wonderful. Oh, that's a 4 plus 0 is 4.
Can't see anything.
You don't see any signs of anything like that, no. Moments later, you're whisked into another complete tunnel system, now within the plateau of the peak of Kuala. And a little while later, you get off the train and make your way back up to the surface, where you come out in the middle of a fairly open space. Kuala is not hugely developed compared to some of the other peaks you've seen from the sky. But right next to the transit hub, there are big signs pointing you towards the two biggest buildings on Kuala. One is the Earth Park Hotel, and the other is Earth Park headquarters.
I think it'd be nice to check in. We've all booked in, haven't we? It'd be nice to check in.
Yeah. Drop off some stuff.
Drop off some stuff. Have a wash. Get that water out of me. All those bad memories, and then maybe look for something to eat, something to drink, or something.
Okay. So you gather up your sort of immediate possessions, shouldering your weapons and shouldering your carry bags for the day, and slouch off towards the hotel. And that seems like a good place to end tonight.
Sounds good to me.
I don't really want to end, but we have to at some point, I suppose.
Yeah, that is the downside of streaming as we do in such a manner.
And it is a good point.
It feels like a break in the action, if you know.
Yes. Yeah.
So, on that note, thank you everyone for watching through to the end. We do really appreciate it. Like Ewan just said, we would just go on for about another 5 hours, given half the chance. But by then, the wine would probably make for some very bad decisions.
And bad viewing as well.
Yeah. So yes, we'll see you again next week. Thursday, we all free Thursday for our chat. Are we back on Thursday?
Yes, definitely.
Fantastic. So next Thursday for an hour-long chat, and then Friday for our 2-hour session as we head to Kuala for clothes changing, dropping off things, signing into hotels, and having buffet food. It's going to be a thriller.
Possibly more sharks. Who knows?
Maybe land sharks.
Who knows?
Yes,
man.
you are
Space
pitching it like a very exciting episode. It has to be said.
It's gonna be.
Yeah.
Those are the episodes
the
I love
one
the
where
most.
they check into a hotel and eat.
the one where Agnar's credit card gets declined. But until then, everyone, thank you very much. Have a great weekend or week, depending on where you're watching it, and we'll see you next week. Thank you. Goodbye.
Good night.
Bye.